You can cry on command.
But they are usually very fast, and that is why I decided to create this. Welcome to Free Talk, the show to help you learn English the fun and simple way. Ready?
Hello guys, and welcome back to Free Talk podcast. Quick question. Do you like the music in the background? I feel like for the episode of today, we should maybe change the background music, maybe to something more severe or something more melancholic. Because the episode of today is a little bit, sad? No, I think sad is too much. Nostalgic. That's it. Nostalgic. Well, before we start things up, let me tell you what nostalgia is. If we look at the definition provided by the dictionary, nostalgia is a sentimentality for the past, typically for a period of time or a place with happy personal associations. What? Well, basically, nostalgia refers to a general interest in the past, its events, and especially the good old days from before. So, in simpler words, nostalgia is the affection or the appreciation for the things that happened before, things that happened in the past. Okay, now we know what nostalgia is. But why on earth am I talking about it on this episode? Does the voice that you are listening belong to a nostalgic person? No, it most certainly doesn't. I am not a nostalgic person. Well, most of the times. So let me explain. My character, my personality is, I think, a little peculiar. And I don't mean to say that I am a very special person and I'm different from each other and all that. No, not at all. Actually, I'm quite the average guy. I am similar to all people. I don't see anything like really special about me or my personality. But if there is something that defines me the most, is my inability to express feelings. And what I mean by that is that people usually have a hard time telling if I am happy or sad or angry or whatever. My feelings don't show, and especially in most aspects of my life, I am not a nostalgic person. A lot of people say, the past was a better time, referring to the people or the music or the customs and everything. It's very common to listen to people say, no, today's society is horrible. It was all better in the past. Like when we talk about technology, sometimes people say, no, people are losing their human side and they are losing contact and touch with people. And they refer that things were better in the past. It's also like when you have those conversations with people as you grow up, and they mention that the things that they used to do and the TV shows that they used to watch, all the friends and lovers from the past. And when they talk about those things, usually they get sad. They miss those things. It's like they long for them. So this is a word that we can explain here, and that is long. I'm sure that you know this word is Long, long, but usually we understand one of the meanings, and long as the opposite of short. Something is short, that means it's not long. But when we use it as a verb, and you say, for example, I long those times, you mean that you miss those things. You need those things in your life. You long for those things. That's like a strong wish or a strong desire. Well, going back to the topic. So these people, when they talk about things from the past, they miss those things, they long for those things. And that is something that usually doesn't happen to me. I mean, sure, I love to remember things, and I admit that a lot of things from my past are precious. I mean, I really have a lot of memories and a lot of things from my past that I treasure. I love those things. But nostalgia doesn't really get me. You know, it doesn't affect me like most people get affected by this. But there is a but here. There is one moment every year when I do feel nostalgic. So, you see, I live in Mexico City. I have been living in this city for the last 9 years of my life. I love my life here. I think this city is beautiful. It's a beautiful place, and it has given me a lot of opportunities. I have received a lot of opportunities from this city and from the people and the experiences I have created in this city. But I grew up in a province in the interior of the country. So that means that I lived there in that place where I was born for 18 years of my life. So my roots are there. The foundation of my life is there in the state where I was born. A lot of my friends, the places I used to visit, a great quantity of my experiences, they are all there. And I had to leave all that behind when I made the decision to embark in this adventure of living in the great city. And, you know, every year for the Christmas holidays, I go back there. I go back to my original state where I was born and when I grew up. And when I go there, I revisit the places. I go back to the old places. I see my old friends. I see the old faces, and that is an incredible experience. And just to give you an example of the things that I do when I go back there, every year on January the 1st, the first day of the year, my childhood friends, so the friends that I had when I was a kid, when I was a child, my friends and I celebrate some kind of a reunion ritual. And what that is after we have dinner with our families, so I think something around maybe 1 a.m., 1 in the morning, we go out, and there is a square in the middle of our houses, and we go there and we start a bonfire. We light a bonfire. A bonfire that is spelled bonfire, bonfire, is when you put together a lot of logs, a lot of pieces of wood, and you set fire to those things. So you have fire coming out from the combustion of wood. And we had this bonfire, and we spend the rest of the night talking. And we have some drinks, and we talk about the past. And usually also we use this time to catch up. To catch up. This is a phrasal verb. It has the verb catch, C-A-T-C-H, and up, U-P, catch up. And catch up means that you share the new things, so you are up to date. You are you know the newest information. So we catch up with each other, and around 8 or 9 in the morning, we say our goodbyes and we go home. And that, in most of the cases, is the only opportunity that I have to see those friends during the entire year. And these are not like just regular friends. These are the friends of my entire life. I grew up with those guys. We had our first beer together, we played soccer together, we lived a lot of things together. So every year when I go back there and when I have this reunion with my friends, I kind of relive, I live again all those memories, and I feel great. But then, a couple of days later, it's time to get back to the reality, you know? So, and that is only the friends part of the story, because my mother, my mom, and my older brother live there too. So here in the city, it's only me and my 2 younger friends, but part of my close, part of my most fundamental family, you know, mother, father, and brothers, part of my family is there, and they stay there. So I have to say goodbye to them too. And although I see my mother and my friend more often than I see my friends, I have more opportunities to see my family, because sometimes they come to my house or I go back there. The feeling, the sensation of leaving those last pieces of my old life and then returning to my adult life, where I have responsibilities and obligations and everything, that really gets me nostalgic. And just to give you a glimpse, just to give you like an idea of how nostalgic I get, I will tell you that right now, as I am recording this episode, it's been 5 days since I returned to Mexico City. And the nostalgia lingers. The nostalgia lingers. So this is a verb, L-I-N-G-E-R, in these cases, with an S, lingers. And linger, when something lingers, it means that stays, it remains, it doesn't go away. So in this case, the nostalgia lingers. I have been in this city almost a week now, and I still feel this nostalgia. I still feel like I miss everything from my mother's house, and again, my friends, the places, the smells, the music, the images, everything is something that I miss, is something that I long. And well, nostalgia is not by any means, it's absolutely not a sign of weakness. You know, some people play like the tough guy and they say, no, I don't miss things, I am a strong person. But I think that nostalgia is not a sign of weakness, because I think that feelings like that, getting nostalgic and melancholic and homesick. Homesick is when you are sick because you miss your home. So when you get these feelings, those are some of the things that reminds us, things that tell us that we are human, that we can feel and experience things. And that is an amazing thing. Well, I guess that it's better that we finish this episode here, because if we don't, maybe I will start crying, and I have an online reputation to preserve. So, anyways, do you consider yourself a nostalgic person? What things from the past do you miss the most? I would love to hear your opinion on this topic, so please let me know on the review section of this podcast on iTunes, or you can give me your opinion on the webpage, which is www.freetalkenglish.com/podcast. And now it's time for a quick word on pronunciation. Alright, for the word on pronunciation of today, we are going to check the difference in pronunciation between the words can, C-A-N, and can't, C-A-N apostrophe T. So these are the affirmative and the negative forms of the modal verb can. Well, just to give you a quick insight into this word, we use this modal verb or this auxiliary verb to indicate possibility or ability to do things. Now, the problem with these two words happen when we use the contraction, because if you say can, the affirmative, and cannot, the negative, there is no problem. The difference in the sound is evident. Can, cannot. There is no problem. But when we decide to use the contraction, that is sometimes complicated. And also because people, Native Americans usually don't say cannot or cannot. Usually they prefer to use the contraction. American people love to use contractions and they reduce the sounds of everything. So let's see. The one thing that is evident, or the difference that is noticeable in these two words, is that we have in the negative, we have the letter T when we have the contraction, obviously, can and can't. And sometimes we believe that that is the difference point between these two words. So we, for example, we are learners of English as a second language. We have the tendency to say can't. So I can or I can't. But American people usually don't pronounce final T's. I mentioned something about this. When the final T is mute, it doesn't sound. So if we cannot use this emphasis on the letter T, where is the difference? The difference is in the letter A, in the vowel. So let me just give you like a quick example on the two cases. In the affirmative form, we say can. So we don't say can, we say can. The letter A sounds like an so it's can. I can do it. Can you do it? Yes, I can. It's a little bit long. It's like if you had two letters A. Can. I can do it. I can speak English. I can cook. It's long in the sound. And the negative is shorter. It's not like it's shorter. So we say can. There is no sound of T, but the sound is shorter, and it's kind of the stop is kind of abrupt. So it's I can do it, and I can. I can. Okay, I can. For example, just to put these two words into a sentence, I can tell you, well, right now I can speak French, but I can't speak German. I can understand Italian, but I can't speak Russian. I can, but I can't. I can, but I can't. I can run very fast, but I can't jump really high. Can and can. Okay, so basically the big difference between these two words is in the length. The first one is longer, can, and the second one is shorter, can. Okay, so this is a very practical difference that you can start practicing, and next time that you find one of these two words, you can start practicing it like this. If you see this word in an article, for example, if you are reading, just mark this word and try to say it like this. If it's affirmative, can. If it's negative, can. Okay, perfect. So that's how we are going to end this episode of today. Again, we are almost 20 something minutes, 21 maybe, and I think that is better for your so that you can have more time to maybe listen 2 or 3 episodes during one day and not only one. And also remember that repetition is really important, so it's not enough to listen to these episodes only once. You have to listen to these episodes as many times as possible. If you can listen to, for example, this episode every day from today to the next episode, you are going to listen to this 7 times, and that's great because you are going to absorb the language that I am using here to explain these things to you. Okay, so we are going to finish this episode here. Once again, if you want to check out all the other things we have for you on Free Talk, don't forget to visit the webpage www.freetalkenglish.com. We have a lot of great content for you. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you next week with a new episode. Keep it simple.
Nostalgias de escuchar su risa loca y sentir junto a mi boca como un fuego su respiración. Angustia de sentirme abandonado y pensar que otro a su lado pronto le hablará de amor. Hermano, yo no quiero rebajarme, ni pedirle, ni llorarle, ni decirle que no puedo más vivir. Desde mi triste soledad veré caer las rosas muertas de mi juventud.